Hi there, everybody. I'm back home now. I was at the Blizzard headquarters, and I also got to playtest the cards and stream them live for like 11 hours. So this is going to be the last part of my Uldum review. It might be slightly biased because I got to see how the cards actually play out, but that's a bit better in a way because it'll be slightly more accurate. I didn't get to go through all the cards, so let's just jump right into it. I finished last time at Pharaoh's Blessing, so we have a lot of cards to discuss. I'll try to be quicker about them because, again, I kind of know what they're about. So, Conjured Mirage, or Mirage. I already played with this card a little bit. Seems not that amazing. Just the fact that it goes into your deck and it only protects you from board damage. It doesn't protect you from spells. Makes it rather weak. It's kind of like a slightly better Witchwood Grizzly, but at the same time, it doesn't stay for more than one turn. So your opponent can just ignore it, or if they have lethal anyways, this probably is not going to like stop them. So it's a decent card, might see some fringe play, but I don't expect it to see play in tournaments. But we never know how the meta is going to shake up after the release. Flame Ward. Okay, this card is pretty interesting. It's a slightly better explosive shot, or is it? So it deals 3 damage to all the minions, doesn't deal damage to the face, but it deals 3 to minions, that's insane. The downside is that it activates in a similar manner to how Bear Trap activated after you attack. So you can use your highest attack minion, also that is going to die no matter what, to attack first, push in some damage, and then you don't really mind if your board gets wiped. So this card is going to be very good in some situations, but it will not prevent lethal all the time. I remember Explosive Trap classically prevented lethal if your opponent had a full board that would die to it, and you were, I don't know, 3 health. This wouldn't. They can just attack you with the free attack minion, and Flame Ward is going to pop too late. So, all things considered, I think it's a weaker Explosive, also considering it's more mana. But it's for Mage, it's not for Hunter. It will still see play in Secret Mage. I just don't think Secret Mage is powerful enough to see play. Just because of some new cards. I think people are just going to play Cyclone Mage or maybe the Sandwich Mage. But it's a secret you might play just because you want to have more secrets. It's not that bad, but it's not amazing. Or it's not as good as I first thought it was. Siamat. This card is really good. It's not Ziliax. It's a balanced Ziliax. It scales really well, so you're very happy to pay 5 mana for a 3/2 Rush Divine Shield. Also has lifesteal. This is basically Ziliax scaled, so a bit more stats for how much mana you spend, but no lifesteal. I think that's a fair deal. I think it's a good card. You can get Rush Divine Shield. You can get Divine Shield Wind Fury. Taunt is pretty useless. Usually, you're not going to go for that. But if you go Taunt, you probably go Taunt Divine Shield. So then it's like a Slybear, Sunwalker. Card is good. We'll see play for sure. I don't think it will be as overplayed as Ziliax and as dominant as Ziliax, but it's a very powerful card. One of the staples, must-have legendaries, in my opinion, in the current expansion. Sapper. Return a random enemy minion to your opponent's hand. I didn't get to play much Rogue, but I just don't see how this fits in the current Rogue archetypes. It's a tempo card for mana 4/4. I generated this with Conjurer's Calling. It was really good, but I don't know. Sometimes you have to take some trades you don't want to take just to guarantee that a minion goes back. For example, they have a big minion and they have a mid-sized minion. You'll take some trades that you don't want into the mid-sized minion to sap the big minion. You might as well just play good minions, take good value trades, and then play the card Sap. I think current Rogue decks don't even play 2 of the Sap. So I don't see playing Psyched Sapper anytime soon. But it's in the game for like 1 year plus. So maybe at some point some people are going to be like, hey, I need more tempo. I don't want to play the Sap card because I don't play Prep. So I might as well just play the Sap on a stick. Even though the stick is pretty flimsy. You know what I mean? Maybe to see play. It has stats good enough to see play. Just needs the right deck composition. King Fowris. This card is really interesting because it's a bomb of stats. If you can play it in a deck that has expensive spells, this is an Astromancer on steroids. It's basically a scaled Astromancer, Also worthy of the legendary slot. If you have 3 spells, imagine this card in Big Spell Mage, where you had like double Flame Strike and all the other spells. This card would be amazing. It would give you a full board almost every time. The downside is that it's 10 mana. Another downside is that what you summon might not impact the board in a way that prevents lethal. But it's raw stats. It's the daddy of raw stats for decks that have expensive spells. The problem is that not that many decks right now have expensive spells. So I don't really see this as being that great. I personally even cut it from a mage deck playing a lot of 10 mana cards, but I'm not sure. It felt kind of win more in that deck. At the same time, I was playing the Sandwich. So you want to make your spells 5. If the spells are 5, do you still want the King Followers? The card is good. I'm just not sure what deck is going to play it, but it's really powerful. This card, I don't think is that amazing. It's basically similar to Apple Bomb. Heals you for 6 total, but only provides a 3/4 taunt and a 3/1 taunt. I don't think that those are great stats. 3/4 dies super easily to a lot of things. And then spawning a 3/1 is a bit annoying, but 1 health dies pretty easily to a lot of things. Not impressed by this card. It might see play, but I think it will be played only if decks have nothing better to play. Wretched Reclaimer. Destroy a friendly minion, then return it to life with full health. So basically heal something to full without healing it. Because if it would heal it, it would be too broken maybe. Oh, actually, okay. So this is mostly to proc your Death Rattles, pretty much. Because we already got a new neutral that heals 2 minions, 2 DSN minions to full health. So that card is straight up better for Priest than what Priest wants to do. This is for Death Rattle Priest, which I don't think is a thing. So it's a good card for Death Rattle Priest. But Death Rattle Priest is not a deck. So we cannot really use this. Right now, at least. Wrapped Golem. At the end of your turn, summon a 1/1 Scarab with Taunt. There was a card like that, and it wasn't good. And guess what? This card is not good either. Spending 7 mana to get a 7/5. You get the 1/1. And then when they kill the 1/1 and the 7/5, you get the 7/1. It's not that many stats. It's like 7 health worth of stats distributed pretty evenly. I mean, maybe it's better than War Golem, but I don't think it's at the level where we want to play it in our deck. Activate the Obelisk. I jokingly tweeted that I think this quest sucks because everybody was super excited about it. After I got to play, it feels like one of the best quests actually, but it still doesn't seem good enough to make Priest tier 1. I still think Priest is not going to be that amazing. By the way, I'm going to probably make another video where I talk about what I think are going to still be the best decks in the expansion. So stay tuned for that. But without going into class predictions, I was wrong about this card. So if I would evaluate it without having to play against it, I would have said it's not good, it's too slow. After playing against it, it's pretty slow, but when they do it, it's really good. So maybe they can come back somehow. It's kind of like the Quest Rogue, if you remember. It took a lot of time for them to do it, but once they did it, it's like insane. I don't think it's on that level of snowball and unwinnableness for the opponent, if that's a word even. But it's pretty powerful. And I called it wrong. But it's not game breaking. It's not the best thing ever. It's good. And that's it. This card is also good, but it requires you to play a lot of junk. It requires you to play a 2-mana card that gives you random cards, and then maybe you also play Pilfer, maybe play Blink Fox. I feel we are diluting the power level of the deck if we try to build it around the Bazaar Burglary. I think ideally, you just play Vendetta, and the bare minimum amount of cards required to activate the Vendetta, including mostly the Henge Clan Burglar, because that's the best one, because you can pick what card you get. But all the random cards, stay away. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna play this just for a free-to weapon. A free-to weapon, don't get me wrong, is very good. but I don't think I want to play so much junk and also lose a card in my mulligan to have a 3-2 weapon with immune. A slightly better candle shot. Penance. 2 mana, deal 3 damage to minion lifesteal. It's basically Dark Bomb. Only can attack minions, or target minions, and has lifesteal. It's really powerful. Insane. Is it enough to carry Priest? We'll have to see. Priest historically has gotten insane cards, and it was not always insane. It will be played in Priest decks. This is basically a mini Holy Nova. Deal 1 damage to all minions, restore 1 health to all friendly characters for 2 mana. It's not bad. Pretty good card. I remember the time when Holy Nova was a staple. Now it's not. So, half a Holy Nova for a bit less than half of the cost. Probably still not good enough, unfortunately. Sinister Deal. Discover a Lackey. This card is really good. I was talking with people in my stream and I was trying to think what would be the cost of a card that discovers a Lackey, and we were agreeing, I think, on a 3 mana 1/1 or 2/1. No, 3 mana 2/1. We were agreeing it would be good. Well, 1 mana spell, we take those. I think it's better than Cable Rat. So, I think Zoo, and I already played Zoo to playtest it, and I think I'm pretty correct on that. You're not going to play Evil Cable Rat, and you're not going to play the Warlock Legendary. You're just going to play 2 Sinister Deals, 2 Evil Geniuses, which totally can generate maximum of 6 Lackeys, and then you play the guy that summons the 5/5, and that's enough consistency for him to work. And then you try to build the other part of the deck around the Vulture, which is a fantastic card, and around the guy that I didn't talk about yet, 3 mana 4/5, so basically a Yeti for 1 mana less. Yeah, this card is good. Oh, I already clicked on the Trasher. Little spoil there. Injured Tolvir, really powerful card. Priests love this card. It's a mini Blade Master, but has a taunt. And it's 2 mana only. 2 mana, 2/3, can heal it up. Good. We like it. Beaming Sidekick. Give a friendly minion +2 health. Not bad. It's kind of like the old Abusive Sergeant. Stats are reversed, but the health is permanent. Permanently buffing health is pretty strong. I think even Zoo might want to play this. I need to look into it. But buffing your Flaming Blood, say, to a 3/4 is pretty solid. You can take some really sweet value trades then. This card is nice. Also, 2 health means he doesn't get pinged. I like it. I like the Beaming Sidekick. I think it might be a very powerful 1-drop. Very defensive. I think Blizzard is very cautious with making powerful 1-drops. We still have Flame Imp, so we kind of use this to help Flame Imp carry. Another broken card, and yeah, I say broken card for Priest. 5 mana 5/5, heals 5 something. You can heal your face. It's basically Ragnaros Lightlord, but as a 5 mana 5/5 that heals 5. It's a scaled Ragnaros Lightlord that you can play 2 of. That's insane. Priest is getting the tools. Can they assemble the deck? I don't know, maybe. They probably will. In the pre-release event, I don't think anybody had like an insane Priest that was dominating people, but I think once the expansion is going to go out at large, people are going to build a Priest deck. They have too many tools to not be able to build a Priest deck. I put Priest in tier 2 at least, just on the simple fact of how many tools they have. Even if they want to deal with giants, they can play Shadow or Death or Mass Hysteria. It's just about assembling the deck. That's about it. Temple Berserker. It's kind of like an Amani Berserker, but different. It's an Amani that is not really comparable to Amani. Basically, you play in a deck that is happy having a 1/2 and then is happy with when the 1/2 dies because you get a free one. But I don't know. Outside of Reborn decks, I wouldn't play this, and Reborn decks are probably not that good because they don't have much synergy outside of the Paladin quest, which is also not that good. But yeah. Serpent Egg! This card is so good. Like, I just literally saw the card at the pre-release event because I was traveling. I didn't get to see all the cards from the final reveal stream. This card is basically Nerubian Egg. 1 more health on the initial body, which is not good. 1 less attack on the secondary body. But it's as close as we're gonna get to Nerubian Egg. Pretty nice card. We just need power overwhelming. Even without power overwhelming, I think Zoo can play this. And with Dire Alfalfa and Abusive Sergeant, together with Grimali, they probably have enough tools to do things with the Serpent Egg, and I think they're gonna like it. I think Zulok is going to go away from the Magic Carpet because it has too many good cards that it wants to fit. Talking about good cards that want to fit in Zulok, the Trasher. Whenever this attacks, deal 3 damage to your hero. Already, this is good. 3 mana 4/5 with this effect. It's one of the best drawback effects, taking damage. Because guess what? Damage you take does not matter unless you die. If you survive the game at 1 health and you win, it doesn't matter that you took 29. It doesn't matter. So yes, this helps you die quicker, but Zulok plays for the board. Zulok loses the game when it loses the board against most control decks. Its own health is not an issue. That's why Life Tap is so powerful. So this card is perfect for what Zulok wants to do. At the same time, it has a direct synergy with the bird. Wait, was the bird announced in the last set of cards? Or did we already have it? No, we already had it. The Diseased Vulture. After your hero takes damage on your turn, summon a random 3-cost minion. This is really powerful on its own. It's a Violet Teacher that is harder to enable, but the payoff is not a Wisp, it's a free drop. Free drops are really good. The difference, like, the jump from 2 to 3 is super big. It's way bigger than the jump from 3 to 4 or from 4 to 5 or any cost. The jump from 2 mana to 3 mana minion is the highest. At least it was until now. I didn't evaluate it with the new cards in consideration, but free drops are really, really nice. Now, you'll be able to play the Trasher on 3, play this on 4, attack with the Trasher, summon something. Then other ways of activating this, Flame Imp, Crystallizer and Flame Imp if you don't already have armor. So if you have the 5 armor, you cannot double Crystallizer to activate the Vulture twice. If you have Crystallizer and Flame Imp, you have to order Lul by playing the Flame Imp first and Crystallizer afterwards, ideally having more than 8 health because otherwise you die. But all things considered, Vulture, Zulok seems pretty powerful. And Trasher seems a very powerful card in the deck. So again, that's why I don't think we're going to play Magic Carpet, because we want to do other things with the deck. We want to take it into another direction. Bug Collector. Summon a 1/1 Locust with Rush. So it's basically 2 mana 2/1 that summons a 1/1 with Rush. I don't like it that much. It's 2 mana 3/2, but half of it can attack. It's not bad, but it's not good. It's basically a reverse of the Rush Boar. The Rush Boar was the 2/1 that gives you a 1/1. This is the 2/1 that gives you a 1/1, but the 1/1 portion has Rush. Maybe it's not that bad. The more I think about it. Could work in Token Druid. Maybe Token Druid would rather play this because it's 2 bodies rather than playing the Boar. So maybe this card, even though it doesn't look that great, might be good enough for Token Druid. Interesting. Candle Taker. 3 mana, 3/2 plus 3/1. Not impressed. Played even against it and it's pretty weak. Zephyr the Great is actually great. It's, I think, bold call better than Kazakus. It's such an insane card. It can only discover classic and basic cards, but I'm astonished by Blizzard and the level of effort they put into this card. And it's one of those crazy cards that I said on Twitter makes me happy to be a Hearthstone professional. Makes me happy to do this for a living. Seeing the ingenuity of Blizzard and how they come up with those cards that you felt maybe should have been in the game in the back of your mind. It's a really powerful card. Powerful enough to make Highlander decks played? We don't know yet. I don't think... It's way powerful than all the Highlander cards. Maybe you're going to play a Highlander on a class that doesn't have a specific class Highlander card just because all you need is Zephrys. That'll be so hilarious. But this card is just so good. I don't know if it's worth playing a deck of singletons for Zephrys. But oh boy, is this going to be so good in Wild. Where you can already play Reno Jackson and Kazakus. I still think, again, this is better than Kazakus probably. But insane card. I'm really curious if it's able to carry Singleton. I don't think Singleton is there yet. Unless Blizzard decides to nerf Bomb Warrior and probably Cyclone Mage as well. but they might do some balance changes. And after balance changes, we might see Singleton. In the beginning of the expansion, I don't expect Singleton to be that good. But Zephyrs the Great should have been named Zephyrs the Best, because he's really good. Work the Expedition. Discover or choose one card. Very good for the Quest Druid deck. Probably good in other things as well. We probably saw that the quest for the Druid is the easiest one to complete, so therefore probably the best one. The reward is also nice. The question is, what's the win condition of that deck? What deck wants to play Quest Druid? How do you win the games? I tried Madigo's Quest Druid and it was like a bit iffy. So it will be a worthy expedition to figure out which quest decks are good. And the Druid one is probably good, and if it's gonna be good, it's gonna play this. Ancient Mysteries is basically an archanologist without the 2-3 body, but gives you the secret to play immediately. This card, I would say, is close to broken, but it's not broken enough, or is not enough to make Secret Mage played, because Explosive Runes is out of standard. That was like the best secret. If Runes would be in standard, this card would make it tier S. But right now, the secrets are not that great from an aggro perspective. So just getting on turn 2 a defensive secret up, and then even following up with Kirin Tormage on 3, is probably not enough. This combined with Sorceress is 1 mana, so I don't know. I can feel Tempo Mage working well, but I don't think it's going to work that well without Talonnet and without Explosive Runes. I just don't think you have the juice and the damage. Maybe you make up for the damage, but you don't have the card with the consistency of that. Oasis Surger. You either get +2/+2 and have a 5 mana 5/5 rush, which is basically a militia commander that costs 1 more mana, but it's always a 5/5, so it's not bad. Or you summon a copy of this minion and you have 2 3/3 rushers. Pretty good card. Definitely you play it in Quest Druid. I don't think you play it in outside Quest Druid. But in Quest Druid is nice, because you get 2 5/5s with rush for 5 mana. That's a bargain. And you can actually finish the quest until turn 5 if you have the coin. You go turn 1 quest, coin. Turn 2 you play something for 1 mana. Turn 3 you play something for 2 mana. Turn 4 you play something for 3 mana. Quest is done. Double 5/5 rush on 5. Nourish, ramp to 9 mana, draw 3 cards on 6. It's pretty nice. And it might happen. Crystal Merchant. Basically, people said it's a better Acolyte of Pain. I kind of agree with that. At the same time, it's hard to make work above the 1 draw, but 2 mana, draw 1, sticks on the board, they need to kill it. Good card. But again, is Druid good enough? Token Druid definitely doesn't want to play this. I mean, maybe they do, but no. Token Druid doesn't want to play this. They want to play on curve. So Token Druid doesn't want to play this. A non-Token Druid that has to rise from the shadows. And I don't know. That's going to take time for people to build. And again, I don't think Druid is going to be good as long as Conjurer Mage is a thing. That's why I really, really wanted them to just nerf Conjurers. Kill the Giant deck. Because that would allow decks like Druid to make an appearance. And right now, I don't think they will. Dune Sculptor. After you cast a spell, add a random mage minion to your hand. I mean, it's good, but you don't want mage minions. Even though they're pretty good. I don't see why you would play this. Like, would Cyclone Mage want to play this? No. So, let's move on. Golden Scarab. 3 mana 2/2, discover a 4-cost card. It's similar to the Discover card. I forgot the name of it in the Kazakus expansion. But it discovers a 4-cost card. So technically, it wants you to play on curve. At the same time, if you play a curve deck, you don't want your turn 3 play to be a 2/2. Just to discover a turn 4 play. So it doesn't seem that good from that perspective. Maybe it will see play in a deck where they have some really powerful 4-cost class cards. Because then you can have a higher chance of discovering those. And consistently getting more copies than 2 of a very powerful class card can be game winning. Maybe Paladin to get the quality consecration stuff. Kings if you're playing an aggro deck. I don't know. So I don't see it being that good now, but in the future, if a deck plays it, and then you look at their class cards and you see they have like 3-4 cost cards, so you can always know what you're getting. Probably more than 3, but you know what I mean. They have very little class cards and all of them are good. You're gonna be like, so that's why you play that, because you want multiple copies of that. So it's purely dependent on the class pools, and I didn't look at every single class to see what 4 types they have. I didn't study this card, but maybe I should. Summon 20 minions. Okay, next. I'm not joking. 20 minions is ridiculously high. You're never completing that. Ancestral Guardian. Lifesteal Reborn. No. If it had Charge or Rush, I'll be like, but this way, no. No. Subdue. Set a minion's attack and health to 1. It's a mini Shrink Ray. Shrink Ray 1/1 minion. It's good. I think Aggro Paladin can play this. In situations where they don't want to play Quality, they definitely don't want to play Shrink Ray. Subdue can be something Aggro Paladin plays to deal with big minions. Yeah. Octosari. I like that it has a lot of 8s, but I don't see it being that good in anything. There's no deck that wants to draw 8 cards. You're going to overdraw. Decks that want to draw to find the combo. If you overdraw the combo, you're kind of defeating the purpose of it. So I don't see this being played right now, but it's pretty fun design. Swarm of Locusts. So basically it's an Unleash the Hounds that always summons 7, but they have Rush over Charge. And it's double the mana. So no. I could see this at 5, but at 6 it's ridiculous. And I already know people are gonna tell me, but RD, you can play Swarm of Locusts and then unseal the Vault. Or you can play Secret or Beast Hunter and win games. Desert Hare. 3 mana 1/1, summons 2 1/1s. It's basically micro tech or micro cheap, the 3 mana 2/1 that summons 2 1/1 mechs, but with beasts and 1 less attack. You might still play it in Token Druid because that card was premium. I would say that card was better than Landscaping. So maybe this card is also better than Landscaping and you just play both of them. Maybe you just want cards that summon other cards in token decks. And guess what? Even if you're overpaying, you're paying 3 mana for 3 worth of stats distributed. It might work. It might see play. Clever Disguise. This is basically double Pilfer. Actually, it's worse than Pilfer. Pilfer can give you minions as well. It gives you random spells. Random spells are not as good as random minions or spells. So it's double the Pilfer, but it's from a worse pool. I think you need to play this card to play Quest Rogue, but it sounds so weird when I say Quest Rogue, because like we all have memories with Quest Rogue, like the Quest Rogue. Maybe I should say Quest Rogue to the new one and the Quest Rogue to the old one to make a difference. So when you were playing the Quest Rogue, you were playing a lot of bad cards, but once you finish the quest, it was insta-win. Here, this requires you to play some bad cards, but it rewards you with a 3/2 dagger that then you have to use to actually kill your opponent in a matchup where you lost so much tempo to get the 3/2 dagger that they probably steamroll you already. So that's why I don't see the rogue quest, and that's why I don't see Clever Disguise seeing play. I see people running Blink Fox and the 4/3 and maybe to some extent Pilfer just to play Vendetta and maybe to some extent play Underbelly Fence. I don't see people playing Clever Disguise because this card is going to give you on average very low quality of cards because it gives you random spells. Which again are worse than minions and spells. Because usually they make the powerful class minions. The class minions are usually way more powerful than neutrals. Spells are only class-wise, so they also have trash spells. I guess you can say there's also trash class minions, but not as many, in my opinion. Maybe it doesn't make sense what I say, but to me it makes sense. That's important. You have to believe in yourself. So, Vesina. Really good stats. 4 mana 2/6 is Vargot. So hard to kill, we already know that. And it fits perfectly in Overload Shaman. Especially because Overload Shaman wanted some more slots. We are playing Hunting Mask just as a filler. So we are super happy to have this in deck. And I think it's gonna rock. I don't think it's gonna make the deck tier 0, but one dirty combo I can already see. You either have Vecina or Thunderhead, both super sticky minions on the board. You play the other, play an overload spell. You have 3-1 with Rush. It's pretty strong. And it doesn't require you to do anything else than playing your spells. So I think this card is really good. Like, super good. It's probably gonna make you play twice of the Rush spell. I already have the deck in my mind. Oh man, this deck is gonna be good. I love it. Mogu Flesh Shaper. Costs 1 less for each minion on the battlefield. Basically a Sea Giant. But instead of being an 8/8, it's a 3/4 rush. Instead of being 10, it's 7. Good card. I don't know where you want to play it. You want to play it in like a mid-range shaman. Probably not in the current aggro shaman. I assume. Might see play in the future. It's kind of like a corridor creeper with different requirement. Sandstorm Elemental is really good, but the current deck doesn't need this kind of removal. But it's a Twilight Flamecaller. Instead of being a 3-mana 2/2, it's a 2-mana 2/2 with Overload 1. So it's definitely powerful. That card was, I think, pretty played in Reno Mage. I don't see this card being played in like a normal deck. I see it played in an Elemental deck or in a Zephyr Shaman, which probably won't exist. Mischief Maker. Swap the top card of your deck with your opponents. 3-mana 3/3. It's basically a budget Non-Ferrato. Non-Ferrato, so fringe play, this is gonna see almost no play. 0 play. Living Monument. 10-mana 10/10. Completely unplayable, but it gives a taunt at 10 drops, which makes Cyclone Mage better. It's pretty annoying. Now they can conjure Sea Giant and actually have a chance at getting taunt. Whereas in the past, it was pretty nice that they didn't have that. I don't know why they would print this. They wanted a filler card. Sure, make it 11 mana. Make less cards. Like, why do you have to have exactly 140 something cards? It ruins the pool. Makes it too good to play Conjurer Mage. It already was the best deck in the game. I'm seeing the Conjurer's nerf happening. My question of the Conjuring nerf is like, why aren't they just doing it already? It's kind of like they're setting the deck up for success, and then they will nerf it 1 month in. Why don't you just nerf it now? So people can enjoy the first month and not go play TFT. I don't know. I have no idea. Pit Crocolisk. 8 mana 5/6. Battlecry, deal 5 damage. People are saying this is basically Firelands Portal. 1 more mana. Not bad. I don't see what decks would want to play it in Constructed. It's obviously an Arena King. I don't know. I do think about it, but there's no mid-range decks in Hearthstone right now that want to play such an expensive card. Because it's not Ragnaros. It's 5 damage, but it's not Ragnaros. Would, for example, Aggro Shaman, which is a pretty mid-range aggro deck, would they even play Ragnaros? Probably not. Filler. Each player summons the lowest cost minion from their hand. This card is interesting. Wait, sorry. This card is interesting. It's basically a dirty card, but it's on Death Rattle. If you can somehow pop the Death Rattle, it could be a nice deck against a deck that really relies on holding something in their hand that is low cost. Otherwise, it's filler. But it's an interesting design, so I guess we cannot call interesting design filler. Double these minions' health. So it's basically a 5 mana 3/6. So we already have that. It's Fang Creeper. But you're benefiting of the Battlecry. If you can somehow double the Battlecry. Like with Shark. You know, with Shark, this bad boy is a 3/12. Because he doubles twice. Interesting, right? Maybe Rogue one. Nah, I don't know if Rogue wants to play it. Well, maybe Rogue wants to play this. I don't know. I'll try it maybe for the lulz. I don't know how I'm gonna fit it in the deck because I'm already fighting for spots in my Rogue deck. I'll try it for the lulz. It's literally only good with Shark, and if Shark sticks, you already can do obnoxious things to your opponent. That's the problem. Maybe there's other Battlecry decks like Battlecry Shaman. They could try it. I don't see where you play it, but it's a cool card. Your taunt minions with +2 attack. Yeah, I don't see this. Even in taunt decks, he's not a taunt himself, so no reason to play it. Body Wrapper. Discover a friendly minion that died this game and shuffle it into your deck. It's pretty powerful, I would say. Yeah, I really think it's a strong card. Just again, not sure who plays it. This expansion has the theme strong cards, but we don't know where we put them, which means in the future it's going to shine more. But I still think it's gonna have some brightness right now. Again, Body Wrapper, I don't know where we play it. By the way, should I call a card that is good in a vacuum, but is not cannot fit in the current meta game good or bad? I don't know. I can just say it's good, but not right now. History buff. Whenever you play a minion, give a random minion in your hand +1/+1. Good stats. Effect is slow, and again, I don't know what deck wants it. So I don't think he's gonna see play for now. Discover a spell or pick a mystery choice. I really like the mystery choice idea. Basically, Blink Fox. You discover from your class only. So you discover a spell from your class, or just pick a random one. That's skillful because if you have 3 bad options, you can just go for random. So kind of now you have to, if you're playing this deck with this card in it, you need to know what's the average, and if you hit 3 that are all under average, you just roll for the RNG. Or if your spot is really bad and into high roll, you just roll for the RNG. I like the design. It's making Discover even more skillful. In theory, it was pretty good mechanic. And pretty fun mechanic as well. 3 mana 2/3 is not amazing, but this card has potential. I don't know what decks would want more copies of their cards, but it's basically the spell lackey on a minion without it being the spell lackey. And for example, we saw how powerful spell lackey was in Rogue. Question is, would Rogue want to play this in their deck? I don't know. I don't know if they want to lose so much tempo just to find another Shadow Step. It's interesting. Blizzard giving all these interesting tools. The millions of players are going to try everything, and probably out of the 10 cards that I said are good, and I'm not sure where they fit, at least 3 of them will be good now. 3 of them maybe will be good in the future, and 4 of them probably will just go out just being powerful cards overall. And yeah. Okay, Quicksand Elemental. 2 mana free to give all enemy minions -2 attack this turn. Elemental is good in a deck that wants to fight for the board, but I don't think it's super amazing. Usually, you don't want a situational card like this when you're fighting for board. Also, what if you're playing Zoo, let's say, and you face a giant? So 1 big minion, 1 big target. It doesn't help you. It's only like the Zoo mirror matches when the board is lining up perfectly. But you can just play good minions and then you'll get good trades. You don't need a cheese card like that one. This is Leper Gnome, but 1 more mana and 1 more damage. So it's not worth it. It's worse than the past Leper Gnome, the way it scales. So simply that, I don't think it's good enough. They should have just reprinted Leper Gnome. 1 mana to 1. But it would be played in a lot of decks, I think. And it would be pretty toxic and annoying. I still think the Leper Gnome nerf was pretty harsh. Because it went from like pretty good or really good to unplayable. They should have made him 1.5 attack. So basically 1 attack has a 50% to get +1 attack until the end of the turn. Now we're transforming into Artifact. And Leper Gnome is Bounty Hunter. But memes aside, this card is a bit too expensive. That's the problem with Hearthstone cards. The line between too expensive and completely broken is very thin. Spitting Camel. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to another random and friendly minion. Card is well statted. It probably will see play. Actually, I said it will see play, but I don't know. What deck wants to have 1 minion on the board? Or what deck is happy damaging their other minions? I cannot think of anything right now. So actually, won't see play, even though it's an interesting card. It's not filler, but it won't see play. Archaeologist. After you discover a card, reduce its cost by 1. No. You don't play enough discoveries to make a discover deck. Won't work. Unless you play the druid spell that transforms your entire deck into discover cards, this is not worth playing. Armored Golem. Whenever your hero attacks, gain 5 armor. I don't like it. Simply because if you're playing a warrior deck around weapons and tempo, do you really care about armor? To play 6 mana, 6/7, it's not bad. It's Boulder Fist Ogre. No, I don't like it. I don't think armor is the best thing when you're playing a tempo deck. It might help because you can tank more, but 30 health is allowing you enough tanking abilities as well. Totemic Surge is a card that would have been good in the past. It's not good right now because you don't really have that many ways of generating totems. So I like the design. Maybe in the future is going to see play if they print another card like the Doctor, the 4 mana 3/4 that was summoning totems on every spellcast, I think it was. This card would work there. Right now, nope. Naga Sandwich. So it's basically a wordplay. Sandwich. Like the thing, 2 slices of bread. Yeah, okay. 5 mana 5/5. Change the cost of spells in your hand to 5. This card is good. I already built a deck around it on the pre-release. I want to explore it a bit more. I still don't think it's on the power level of Cyclone Mage, but you can play a lot of big spells. And by a lot of big spells, I mean 2 Pyroblasts and 2 boxes of Yogg-Saron. And if you cost reduce 2 of them already to 5, it's pretty good. If you have, let's say late game, 3 10 mana cards, you can go Sandwich, 5 mana spell, next turn 2 5 mana spells. It's pretty strong. Also works really well with Luna's Pocket Galaxy. A 1 mana card that makes your spells 5 means you can go for a 4 mana card like Fireball, play the 1 mana card, and then Pyroblast. So it allows for some interesting combos. I think we will experiment with this in the beginning, and it might even have its own deck if Cyclone Mage gets nerfed. Otherwise, Cyclone Mage is kind of holding this back. Hyena Alpha. 4 mana 3/3 summons 2 2/2s. This is almost Spellstone, but not really. But also only requires 1 secret in play. It's really good card. It might make Secret Hunter playable. You can just play Secret Beast Hunter because this card is a beast, so you're not sacrificing the Master's Call. I like it. I think it's a bit slow, and I think secrets are not amazing. But if you have to look at all the secrets in the game, Hunter still has the best secrets right now. So you could build a pretty annoying Hunter deck around this card. I see Hunter getting a boost from this expansion, a noticeable boost with good quality cards they can put into their decks. And Hunter can also compete with Warrior and Mage. So maybe Hunter is the biggest winner so far until maybe the nerfs are going to hit. And might even be better if the nerfs happen and they don't nerf Hunter. But this card is amazing. This card, I thought it's amazing, but it's actually pretty bad. I mean, it's not awful, but it's not that great. I first thought it's a faceless manipulator. And I was like, oh, you just play this and you play King Crush and like you get the King Crush on turn 3? That's insane. And I built a deck around it and then I played it and it copied the minion in my hand. I was like, okay. So it creates a copy. It's more or less... There's a 5 mana spell that makes copies of every single beast you have in your hand. This is that for 3 mana. We probably won't play it simply because it's not a beast and you want to play Master's Call more than anything. So if guys like Houndmaster and Houndmaster Show didn't see play, we're not going to play Wild Tamer. And the last card, Garden Gnome, very good token druid spell, but forces you to kind of play Force of Nature. No pun intended. So you play double Force of Nature, you play double 8 mana spell. Maybe you can fit in a Starfire or a Starfall. I saw Silvername was playing this deck, but also playing the new Arcane Tyrant for Druid. I don't know if it's better than playing just normal token Druid. I think it's not, but it offers some alternate builds. I'm hoping for Druid that they manage to find a new way and not a token way. Anyways, this was my card review. I hope it was on point, or as on point as I could. Again, I said about a lot of cards that they're powerful, but once you play, that's because I analyze cards in a vacuum and I just look at their stats. But if there's no deck that can play them, look at Spitting Camel. I don't think there's any deck that wants to play this, and I don't think there will be any deck that wants to play this because it's super specific. But the effect is not bad. Let's say in a buff deck, if there was a class that could just play this on 2 and then buff, in a meta game where you could maybe give it immune so that they cannot spell kill it, it could be good. So in other card games, this card would have a deck built around it. But in Hearthstone, it's not really consistent to build your deck around a 2-drop, and there's no buff deck or anything like that. But, okay. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll make some more videos in the next couple of days, ideally before the expansion, where I tell you what I think are the best disenchants and what I expect from the classes in the new expansion, and basically some predictions. Thank you for watching, and subscribe and also like the video if you enjoyed. See you in the next one.